Happy Friday, data people. So today I am going to use Python to insert data into a SQL Express table. So think of it as kind of a starting point for maybe like an ETL process. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but you can get pretty complex with this, or you can kind of um, do a lot with this. I'm using a simple sample data table, but you could connect this to other databases, to other sources, really anything that you want, and then you could insert it into a SQL Server database. I do some of this sometimes with like BigQuery. I'm using a SQL Server Express in this instance, but I do a lot with like just a regular SQL Server database as well. So there's a lot here. So let's get started. So I'm going to just break down this script. I will include it in my post as well so you can see it. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see it as well, but it's pretty simple. So I'm starting with the sample data here, but you could do a CSV file if you had some sources like that. If you had an API, you could grab a table from like an API call. You can do that as well. The biggest thing is I need my connection information for the type of server that I'm using. So again, like I said, I'm using SQL Server Express. It's free. You can download it. If you're new to SQL, it's a great tool to start learning SQL. Um, but this gives you your connection to the database or to the server and the database that you want to insert the data into. You have to give it the schema. So that's kind of like your schema, then your table. I'm just doing a test table here, and then the driver of your server that you're going to be using. Um, then with that connection string, then I'm checking to see if that table exists. If it does exist, I'm just going to truncate it. If it doesn't exist, I'm going to create a new table. There are other types of patterns that you can do. You could append, you could do merge. There's different things like that. I'm keeping it simple for this demonstration. And then if we kind of move down on here, we get into loading the table then. Once the uh, uh, table is created, then I'm essentially going to be asserting that data into the table at that point. So let's kick this off and I'll show you what this looks like. I'm going to show you the SQL Server database here. Um, you can see it's not loaded here, but once it's loaded, we should see the table in here once we refresh that. So I'm going to kick this off. And right here, I'm just looking in my console here, table ready, data loaded successfully. So if I jump into back to my database, I'm gonna refresh it. Then I can go to my tables and we can see the test table. Let me see what I named it here. We can make sure we're looking at the right one. Test table here. So it's there now. I can do a quick select statement over it. And again, that's the test table. You can see the values that I was going to insert are there. So yeah, so Python, very portable. Um, it can be used in a lot of different scenarios. This is one of them with how you can start using it as a tool to uh, essentially extract your data, transform it, and load it into your database. You could set it up with a scheduler, so you could have this scheduled uh, one time a day, multiple times a day. You get really fancy with this. So this is just a beginning. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Have a great day, everybody.